welcome to you all. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to talk fast, okay? So, what I'm here to do today is to talk to you about systems. Does everyone know what a system is versus a set? Some people don't, so I'm going to talk about that. So the first thing is that systems are a little bit different than a set. We have our bowl sets, our Wonderler bowls, our impressions. We have sets of snack cups. We have chip and dip bowl sets, right? So all of those things, when you buy a bowl set with Tupperware, it's going to save you money over time. How many of you have or know someone who has brown, orange, avocado green, or harvest gold bowls? Absolutely, my mother's still using those. Did I mention I've been in Tupperware 16 years and she got those when I was born? She still will not get rid of them. How many of you will not get rid of your bowls because they still work? Even though we've got 10 more sets in the newest color, all of that, right? Of course, we're in Tupperware. Those bowls, though, that are those colors, are 30 to 40 years old. So guess what? When you buy a bowl set with Tupperware, they're going to pay you back after years and years and years of use. Now, the difference with our sets versus our systems are going to make you money the minute you start using them. So our customers and hosts are actually saving money, which I say it's making money because then you get to spend it on other things, right? The minute they use a system and put that in their kitchen, they're going to start making money, okay? So things like, we have 4 main systems, just so you guys are aware. Some of you might be new, some of you, but this will be very old. But we have our Fridge Smart system, right, for all of our produce. We're gonna save what? Money, lots of money there, right? We're also gonna talk about nutrients and vitamins saving. Then we have our cupboard system, right? Those are for our cupboards, our pantries, our trailers, our camping. Anything you do, you need to have your modular mates in. I have a cousin who works on the oil rigs up in Alberta, and guess what? He's a consultant, and you know what? He has his cereal. He calls me the Tupperware Queen, makes fun of me, but you know what? He called me for a cereal container because it's in his truck traveling. He used to get dirt in his cereal. He wasn't so concerned about the staleness, but he was concerned about the fact there'd be dirt in his cereal. So everybody needs modular mates. That's a system. Then our Vent and Serve, right? This is the Mercedes-Benz of reheatable plastics, okay? So we have that system, right? It's gonna go in your freezer, your microwave, your fridge, take to work with you, take to work with your husband, maybe never come home. Or if you're like me, my husband knows his mother, they didn't have a lot of money, they were raised with Tupperware, you bring it home. However, he thinks it multiplies in the basement and all over the house, so I get like 6 of those in my sink, all on the same day. And it smells like dead people when you open them, right? So yeah, these are the Mercedes-Benz, and guess what? When you put them in the dishwasher, that's why I love giving them to him, they don't smell anymore, right? Because that non-porous plastic. So now we got our freeze-it system for all of our freezing needs, organizing, keeping our foods fresh there. The thing about a system is, once your customers or hosts buy a system, they need more. Because you know what? They start out, they're single. They might have bought this, they're newly, living on their own. So they need what they need, maybe what you see here. Guess what? They get married. Suddenly he eats things that she never ate. So they need more modular mates. Now he needs containers to go to work. Now the freezer, more food is getting frozen. So this keeps building as you have children, as you have more people, the mother-in-law moves in, you gotta have more Tupperware. So the system you can build on. These are lifelong things, lifelong customers and hosts you can build on our systems. There really is only so many bowl sets that a non-Tupperware person can have. I say that. Because we have every color, every size, and then it comes out in a new color, you have the exact same bowls. My husband wonders how many bats of bowls do we actually need? I have a pantry. I thought my kitchen, I built a house. It was the biggest I thought we'd ever need. We only had it half full. Yeah, 5 years in, it was so full, and he keeps saying, like, how many more bats of bowls do you need? Right? You guys can relate. So with a system versus a set, it's great. Sets are awesome. They'll add those on, but we want to sell systems, right? We want to sell our cooking premium products, because I'm really into cooking class, add the systems. And did you know when you have your hosts and customers that get through the systems and get their premium cooking products and all those things for the kitchen, without cookware, they're looking at $3,000 to $5,000 kitchens, okay? And what you have to figure out is, are they gonna sign up, right? Because some of them will. Are they gonna host? Because some of them will. And then some will just buy. And I was always told, we need all 3 of those, or this business doesn't work. If we don't have customers buying, it doesn't matter how many hosts we have and how many people selling, it doesn't work, right? If we only have hosts and we have no one selling and no one buying, that doesn't work. And if we only have people selling but we have no hosts and nobody buying, that doesn't work. So it doesn't matter how, we need to figure out how we get that into the kitchen. And I will tell you from experience, and some of you here can say the same thing, that those buyers that buy for a year, 2, 3, suddenly a Great Master Shredder comes out, and guess what happens? They sign up because it's a free gift, and you never know where that's going to go. I only joined this business for wholesale. That was it. That was all. I was 20 years old. So remember, you never know what's going to happen. So let's get into our systems, okay? I'm going to teach you about systems. I'm going to talk real fast because I don't have enough time. And the first thing, and I forgot to say that until I was leaving the stage this morning, you would never demo all 4, okay? Not full demos, because they would be like, whoa. But when you're doing a cooking class, you're gonna have your stuff for salsa in your FridgeSmart, and you're gonna do this 5-minute little spiel that I'm gonna give you. And then when you have some chicken breasts, because you're gonna make pulled chicken salsa, you're gonna have them in your freezer mate, right? Freeze it. Holy, that dated me. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Freeze it, okay? So the freezer container, and then you're going to use your rice, because you're gonna make some Spanish rice at that cooking party. You're gonna have it in your modular mate. And what I do, you guys, is I take those all empty, and I pour the host ingredients, because my hosts provide the ingredients for all the cooking I do. And I pour them all in there, but it reminds you when you pick it up. So that's why this is really cool, because to get the full demo, it takes what? 20 minutes at least to do a full demo on a system. So you're gonna be able to use this at your cooking parties, and then you get people intrigued, right? And the whole idea, you guys, if you get them intrigued and really wanting those 4 systems, when you go through the catalog, make sure you dog-ear those pages, put a tab on it, and talk about them again. Because when you get people intrigued, they're gonna date with you, okay? They are going to buy their FridgeSmart set, and you'll see I have them in an order here. That's the order I think they should buy them in, but you know, people can do what they like. But the FridgeSmart set, they'll buy it at the party, supporting their friend. That gives you your sales. But then they're going to want modular mates and vent and serve and freeze it and every cooking product we make if I've done my job. Because then what do they want to do? They're going to come back to buy, or they're going to host, or they're going to join. Because they're going to, and that is what we want, right? We want to make them come back. So with these, I always say you can buy your first set tonight, whatever system you love. Then you're going to get your second, third, and fourth sets rather for free or half price when you have your own Tupperware cooking class party. That's what I call it, because it's fun. And or your option is to sign up and get it all at wholesale prices, right? So that's what you want to do with your systems, okay? And the system will make everybody want that, because didn't you want that? And anyone new? They want the fridge, they want the cupboards, they want the vent and serve, they want the freeze it. So let's talk FridgeSmart. FridgeSmart, first of all, was designed, right, for your refrigerator for all your produce. It's going to keep everything 3 to 5 times longer. So instead of going to the grocery store every 7 to 10 days, rebuying everything you bought 7 to 10 days prior, coming home and opening that crisper drawer and unloading it into the garbage pail, you're going to not have that happen anymore when you have your FridgeSmart. So therefore, you're saving somewhere between $40 and $75 every single month, which works out to be about $800 to $1,200 in an average household in savings in produce in just 1 year. So I always say, if you'd like to go on an all-inclusive vacation, you need to invest in your FridgeSmart, because they will pay you back in 1 to 2 months, and then for the rest of your life, you're saving that much money on your produce, and then you can take a vacation once a year, all-inclusive, right? So that's how the FridgeSmart works. Well, what are the features and benefits, right? We need to feature and benefit sell always. First thing is the little feet on the bottom. They're going to collect excess moisture, just so that the fruits and veggies aren't sitting in that moisture. When they're sitting in the bag, sitting in the crisper drawer, or on the racks of your refrigerator, all that moisture is sitting in there. It creates a little pond effect, which we all know ponds are what? Scum and bacteria growers. So that's what's happening in your produce bags. So you got to get it out of the bags and put them in here, and then the moisture will draw to the feet. Now this works like a greenhouse because of Tupperware's technology. So all moisture is drawn to the roof of the container. It runs down the side and into the feet. So if you open these, often you're going to find on the top, on the seal of the container, there's all these little water beads. It's working. That's what it's meant to do, run into the grooves. Now how does the moisture get in there? Because a lot of people are like, well, how does that happen? Number one is because fruits and vegetables do naturally sweat. They create a low climatic zone they like to be in, then they quit sweating, okay? That's just normal. But the number 2 and most common reason is because the fruits and veggies are sprayed by your grocery store. Anyone been sprayed while getting your produce? Yeah. And they do that for 2 reasons. One, the human eye is naturally attracted to water beads in our fruits and veggies. We think they're fresh, we pick them up and buy them. I dare you to test yourself. Do you grab the dirty green onions or the dirty dry celery? Or do you go on the top and want the wet? Most of us want the wet because it's just attractive, looks good, it's not dirty, right? We think we don't have to wash it. I'm kidding. Anyways, so you bring it home, you've got all this water. Now, why does the grocery store spray your fruits and veggies? When we put our fruits and veggies in the refrigerator, we don't spray them, right? We don't go in there watering them 25, 50 times a day. No, they do that because of that whole thing that our eyes are attracted, but also to kill your produce quicker. Excess moisture causes things to rot. It does not do any good for our produce, so guess what? It's rotting quicker, you've got to come back and buy more. So not a good thing. So Tupperware took care of that. They put the legs on there. The next thing is this fancy little chart on the front that tells you how to vent your fruits and veggies. Now, the very important thing you must know, because there's a lot of copycats out there. Since Tupperware brought these out over 20 some years ago now, there's copycats. We see it, right? We've all been like, whoa, what are they doing with our stuff? Anyways, patents expire, they start copying because you know what? Tupperware took the research from the University of Florida, the leading university in agriculture produce in North America, and they took that research and they invented this vent on the top, right? Because they discovered if you keep fruits and veggies in the right airflow zone, that they will keep longer. They'll get that 3 to 5 times longer. So that's where the vent comes in. And the airtight seal is where we have it made. No one else can copy this. Mr. Maytag man with his little vent on the fridge, guess what? It does not seal. The drawer is not airtight. So how do you really manipulate the airflow, right? That's where Tupperware comes in. Any other brand product out there, and I will never use another brand, I tell people to check that out on their own. So any other brand, they don't have that airtight seal that we do, that reverse whip paint can seal that Mr. Earl Tupper over 70 some years ago invented for us. So there's no control, and with science you need a controlled environment before you can manipulate. So on the top you have your little airflow zone, right? So that's what you want to follow depending on what the produce is, okay? So where do these go? Everyone always wants to know, can they go in the crisper drawer? They look too big. Your crisper drawers are limper drawers. Nothing stays crisp, everything goes limp. I always say hide your Christmas gifts, your candy, anything you want to eat, chocolate, whatever you don't want the family to find, because what do? They open the fridge every day. They look in there, there's nothing to eat, they slam the door, they don't even know those drawers exist at the bottom, and that's why you load them and unload them into the garbage pail, right? So people can relate to that. So instead, use those drawers to hide things. No, we want to use them for things like your dairy products. Some of people buy cottage cheese and yogurt tubes and cheese strings. You can tell I have kids, I have a lot of those things. So I have a dairy drawer, but maybe you have a lot of juice boxes, pop, soda in the US, water bottles, whatever it may be. And by the way, you should have your Tupperware water bottles in there. That was a consultant of mine. She always uses whatever spring tumbler, summer tumbler, fills them with water instead of buying the water bottles for her friends and gives them those. See how many she sells? More than I do. Okay, so tons, have those in the drawer. Any of that kind of stuff. So you can have a drink drawer. You can have the pickles and olives and hot peppers and all those things in a drawer, salad dressings, whatever it is in your house. But it's really nice to open the drawer, pull out the mayonnaise instead of unloading the fridge. So you're going to keep your fridge smart in the refrigerator, whether it's empty or full, because why? You're going to bring it home, the produce, and fill it. It's kind of like the ice cube tray. Nobody fills it but you. Same thing's going to happen with these. But if you want your family to use them and eat healthy, they need to see it. The last thing I'm going to point on, and a lot of people are loving this nowadays, and you guys can probably attest to this, people want to be healthy, right? They want to eat healthy, they're looking for organic now, they're looking a lot of things, what's going on in the world. And so with the Fridge Smart, you really need to talk about minerals, vitamins, and nutrients being preserved. Because when the fridge fan sucks out the moisture out of our veggies, it's really irritating because in 3 days your celery's all wobbly and waving at you, your green onions shrivel up, cucumbers get soft. That irritates us, it costs us money. But here's the thing, when that happens, moisture leaves, it takes nutrients and vitamins with it. So they're also losing nutrients, vitamins, and minerals from those already deprived fruits and veggies. So by using the Fridge Smart, they're preserving that too, okay? So you gotta take like 5 of my points when you're doing your demo, okay? Moving on, modular mates. So we all know modular mates. We love them. Most of us in Tupperware, we can so see this. And that picture that everyone can get a hold of now through Facebook and through Tupperware, where you see the one side and then the other, doesn't it all just make you go, ooh? And you know what? We have those pantries, but people don't. And so make sure you have that visual with you. Make sure you take pictures of pantries you do or cupboards. So let's talk about modular mates. Remember the canister set. Remember I went back to Harvest Gold, Orange, Avocado Green. How many of you had that canister set? Maybe still do. Know someone who does. Again, my mother has that. She also has the new one and modular mates, but she will not get rid of the orange, because why? They're still working. Why would I get rid of something? So those canisters were really awesome. What did we put in them? Coffee, tea, flour, sugar. First of all, I told you, people came for tea and coffee every day. And also, people used to bake every day because it was right on the counter. And it matched the tile or the linoleum and the appliances and the shag brown carpet. It all matched, right? So those canisters, what happened in the 1980s, the microwave oven, it came out, right? Juicers, toaster ovens, all those things. And guess what? It all went on the counter. Those were to make our life easier, ladies, so that we could do more. That's what happened. So anyways, all those things came out, and what happened to our canisters? They had to go in square cupboards, round canisters, take up 2 whole shelves of 1 cupboard. And remember, no one had a pantry back then. So Tupperware brought out the modular mates. Why? First reason, save space. They're still doing the same thing the canisters do, and yes, we still have them. They're much prettier. People can put them on the counter. And when I was 18, because my mother had canisters and I got that book handed to me at work, I said, sure, I'll buy some canisters. Because I didn't know anything about Tupperware. I was 18, living on my own, and I had nothing in my house, so it looked really nice. So people still like the canisters. How many of you sold schwacks of those about a month ago? Yeah, that was awesome. Anyway, so the canisters still have a place, but modular mates came out to save space, right? And also save everything from brown sugar to baking soda, baking powder. We never put those things in canisters. So it was for all your dry storage. So saving space because they utilize top to front, top to bottom, front to back of your cupboard. So when you look at our super oval and rectangle, which is my favorite size, I will just say this is hands down my favorite. They sit back to front and top to bottom when you stack them up. Now I'm going to give you a little tip, especially for husbands. Those of you customizing kitchens, and you should do that. That's like one of the best things you can do. Go in, spend an hour with somebody. First of all, face to face, people love it. You're going to see them, talk to them. You're going to get a party. You're going to sign them up. There's all kinds of things that come with that date. You're going to make a lifelong customer by doing custom kitchens. And it really, you can drop a kid off at dance, go do a custom kitchen and get back to pick them up, okay? So these work really well around busy lifestyles. So I just want to say something. When you customize a kitchen, these stack up. Stay in the same shape. You want to know why? The husband will hate you. He will not love this because when he needs this container, he needs how many hands? He's run out of hands to get to that container. Whereas if you stay in the same shapes, even if it's this high, now it's hard for me to do this, but imagine one hand grab with this hand, right? And you can slide it back in. So you don't need 3 or 4 hands to maneuver the Tupperware. If the husband needs 3 or 4 hands to maneuver the Tupperware, he doesn't care that this looks nice. All he cares is that my stuff is on the bottom and it took a lot of effort to get it. So when you're customizing kitchens, you want to make sure that you're putting things in the right shape. So you'll see that we have shapes on top of shapes. Even though, by rights, this does fit. It's really difficult to maneuver, okay? All right, so we're gonna save space. Why? Because we're using back to front, or back to front, top to bottom, right? The other way we're saving space is this container right here holds 3 bags of the old Dutch box of potato chips, okay? How many of you are feeling a little ripped off right now knowing that 3 bags, that box and a half, go into here? Our packaging has stayed the same. The food is less inside. They charge us more money. And every year it gets less and less and less. That box used to be 280 grams. I do believe now it's down to 160 in 10 years. Really? So they took almost half the box, or 20 grams away. They charge us more money. So This saves huge space when you get rid of packages and boxes. My spaghetti from Costco used to fill this plus one meal. So when I open the box, now it's half full. It's amazing when you're with Tupperware how much you realize. So when you get rid of all the packaging, you're saving a ton of space. You're saving waste because why? We're not throwing out things like hard brown sugar, stay soft, 3 years. Marshmallows, right? Stale foods, open a bag of potatoes or chips or tortilla chips, taco shells. Doesn't matter if your family is small enough and you need one box, or like my family, we need 2 boxes. There's always 2 shells left. By the time you eat them again, 10 days, 2 weeks later, they're so stale, nobody wants to eat them, they go in the garbage, right? So you can store all your things in here to keep them from going stale. Baking soda, baking powder, what does it do in your refrigerator? A lot of people use it in there. Anyone? Absorbs odors, right? Takes out the smell. Guess what it's doing in your cupboard? Same thing. People use it in the hockey bag. Why? Because it absorbs smell. So when it's doing that in your cupboards, it's going flat. People will love this right away to get their baking soda and baking powder. I always say, get rid of the stuff that's in your house. It's probably flat because your recipes don't work. And it only requires 1 teaspoon or half a teaspoon in recipes, but those recipes don't work without it, right? So definitely we need new baking soda, new baking powder. So all that is going to keep things taste. We're saving taste, we're saving space, we're saving waste because we're no longer throwing away things. When we save waste, we save money, and that's what I care about because the more money I can save is the more I can spend in other places. Okay, more vacations I can take. And that's what your customers and hosts care about too, right? So it looks nice, we're saving space, we're saving taste, we're saving money. Where we're going to save money is bulk buying as well, not just throwing out, but bulk buying. Bulk buying is the best thing to do because often you can get 2 kg of brown sugar or icing sugar for the same price as 1 kg if you buy it on sale. So why would we bulk buy and save half the money by doing that? When we teach our customers and hosts how to keep saving money in their life, they're going to be loving this, okay? So I'm all about saving money. So bulk buying. The other thing is double buying. We all double buy. Every one of us has something we love to buy. When you customize someone's kitchen, you find out what that is. Okay? I remember the day I actually did a lady's kitchen and there was 42 packages of shake and bake. And my comment is always, not should we find a container. Do you like to keep this many on hand? And they usually are like, no, I didn't even know I had that many. Another one was 92 boxes of Jell-O. Okay, I found in someone's pantry. So I was like, do you like to keep this? No, we don't want that much Jell-O on hand. So every one of us buys something over and over again. So you'll stop that because you can see, this is my Jell-O container, can't buy any more until it's empty, right? So you're gonna save the double buying, which saves you a lot of money. The other thing is, how about the buying where you think you're at the grocery store for your 2-week grocery shop and you think you need pasta, but really you go home, you have lots of pasta and you have no rice, and now you're making dinner and you gotta run out. Guess what? Those grocery shopping trips where you run out are somewhere depending on $45 to $95 in Canada that they average when you go to the grocery store unplanned for 1 to 3 items. So that's like milk and bananas and bread. People spend $45 to $95. So if you do that a couple times a month, your grocery bill, you're not staying on budget. So if you want to stay on budget, it saves you money that way by staying out of the shopping places, okay? So we're saving lots of money, we're saving taste, waste, we're saving time because we can just open our pantry, look, this is what we need, make our list quickly. It's way quicker to shop if you do that than wandering around the aisles. And definitely don't go hungry or you'll spend a lot more money. So with the modular mates, the last thing that I want to talk about is the bug and rodent issue. If you ever have a bug problem in your kitchen, which Statistics Canada tells us, I find those results, but I'm sure it's the same in the States, and the southern states probably more, that once in your lifetime you will have a bug problem in your kitchen. And it's not because they walk in from outside or because you're dirty. It's actually because they came home from the grocery store. Our food is stored in ways and made in ways that things get in there, and then eggs come home and they hatch in warm kitchens. The thing about Tupperware is, if you have your stuff in Tupperware, you come home and you do the dump, everything goes in your containers. If you brought home something in your flour, in your oats, in your spices, it's crazy. If there's something in there, they all die on the surface, and you can be assured the rest of your kitchen isn't infested. Normally when you find bugs, in a kitchen, it's when they're walking across the counter and then you're like, whoa, hold on, that's not a normal bug, that's something else. And by that point you're infested and all your food goes in the garbage. That's thousands of dollars, always. So they're gonna save that as well as rodents. Okay, I gotta move on, I'm sure. How much time do I have left? Okay, I always leave these to the end because I can be really quick. All right, so Vent and Serve, Mercedes-Benz the reheatables, right? So the Vent and Serve, really great product to get into people's kitchens. They always want more. This is the one that I find I need more of those. I need, especially right now, capitalize August, right? Everyone's going back to school, back to work, getting back on track with health because they've been holidaying all summer. So the Vent and Serve are fantastic for your reheatables, right? They're not a cooking product, they're reheatable. So popping the vent, you can take this right from the freezer and pop it into the microwave due to the type of plastic this is. It is a hard plastic. It is not our Lexan anymore like it used to be years and years ago, and it does not contain any BPA because a lot of people are concerned about that. And I always like to say, you know what, right at the beginning of my parties, Tupperware is made with 100% pure plastics, whether it be polyethylene, polypropylenes, acrylics. We have no recycled products, fillers, additives, byproducts, or chemicals like BPA put in our product. If you deal with that, it's a really good thing. So with that, this product is the non-porous plastic that never opens up, therefore it doesn't stain, right? Handles and feet always stay cool. The greatest thing that I like to teach about this, you guys, right now to most of you who are in Tupperware, because I was taught this a few years ago and I did not know, is that these containers, when you drop the power level, we all know we're supposed to, right? And we teach our customers, definitely, you gotta drop the power level because at 600 to 800 watts when the microwave came out, we were cooking raw chicken in that, raw beef. So if it's already cooked and you don't drop the power level, what happens? We're refrying our foods at like unbelievable temperatures because our microwaves now are anywhere from 950 to 1800 watts. So really high temperatures. So when you drop the power level to 60% or 70 if you have a low power, what's gonna happen is we all know that middle never gets heated normally at 100%. People get irritated, they pull the cover off, they find out, oh, it's not heated in the middle. Then what do? They jam the seal back on. And what does it do to our seals? Turns the corners in, right? And then we tell them, because we got to give them a courtesy, yeah, one time I can do these seals, but then after that, we can't anymore. You need to use them properly. Well, if they just drop the power level, they'll never ever have to have the seal replaced because guess what? It's going to heat right to the center. Because what happens when you drop the power level is that 60% of the time it's going crazy, the microwaves, and they're heating that 2 inches up around, right? And the center isn't. The other 30 to 40% of the time, that energy is bouncing off each other and you're getting an action like this, right to the center. And people never have to open the container to test if it's heated to the middle because if you touch the middle with your finger, guess what happens? It's warm there, and if it's not, you pop it back in the microwave. Now for those of you who don't know how to change the microwave, because I teach this at every single party I do multiple times a week, because a lot of people don't even know the power level exists. You put in the time in 95% of microwaves, it's like 3 minutes, power level, or power, it'll say, and when you hit 6, or 7, that's 60% or 70%, okay? So by doing that, you're gonna have your power level dropped. Okay, so Vent and Serve, advanced meal planning. That's what you wanna do with people. But I don't teach advanced meal planning like stand in your kitchen for 12 hours to have 2 weeks of meals because nobody has that kind of time. I teach it as when you make taco meat, make double or triple. This will hold 1.5 pounds of ground beef that's already done with the taco seasoning, and when you need tacos in 15 minutes, you can put this whole container right from the freezer, power level 4 for 6 minutes, and then power level 6 for 6 minutes. In the meantime, we great master some cheese, chop our lettuce and our tomatoes, and tacos are on the table because what? We have our taco shells in here and they're not stale in 15 minutes, right? When you teach people that value, they will buy more and more and more of these. So everything is double, triple your recipes. Stand in your kitchen 3 times a week to eat at home 6, right? Okay, freeze is the last thing. Who loves the new Stain Guard? Awesome. So our freeze-its, right, are designed for the freezer. They are like our modular mates. They stack up so you can see them. They're a thinner plastic that's flexible. Why? Because in the freezer, we don't want to chip our fingernails off. You can put your modular mates or any piece of Tupperware, we know freezer, fridge, dishwasher, right? But this will pull your fingernail right off getting into them. So they're really flexible, right? So that we can pull them off frozen and we can flex the container like this to get our foods out of. This is great for dividing your foods. Again, what are we doing? We're saving money because we're buying in bulk. Our hamburger, our turkey, ground turkey, our chicken breast, we're buying everything in bulk and dividing it up, right? And having it ready to go. So in these, fantastic that they have the stain guard on them now so that we can not have to worry about that as well. But the freeze-it system, again, is an add-on because people are going to want to keep their things in the freeze-it because you're not ending up with clumps of frozen vegetables, right? Or our chicken breasts that are dehydrated or get to a place of freezer burnt. I always like to tell people right away, you're going to notice something different here. When you open your chicken breast, there's going to be an ice on top, and that is not freezer burn. That's what it should happen because when you freeze foods, the moisture comes out of them. So I always like to teach people that because they freak out when they look in there. I said, normally when you have your foods in, that moisture just leaves. It goes to the fridge, or to the freezer fan, or it goes on the sides of your deep freeze, all that ice, right? So it'll be in the container where it belongs, and then as the chicken breast thaws, all the moisture goes back in it. So the freezer mates are gonna keep things from going freezer burnt or getting icicles. Again, what are we doing? We're saving money. We're saving space by getting things out of those bags that are weird shaped. We're also, if you buy seafood or fish or anything, I'm not a fish lover, and neither is my husband. And people who store their vegetables inside a freezer that has fish and in those bags, it all transfers. And when you cook your veggies, they actually taste or smell like a little bit fishy. So you're not going to have that. There's so many things to do with these. All your fresh berries, when you're doing banana bread, to have your bananas, you know, instead of, I teach this all the time at my cooking classes, you know, husbands really hate all those bananas hanging out in the freezer because we all have really great intentions, we're going to use them. But eventually, my husband would just throw them out, unbeknownst to me. But what you want to do is put your bananas, if it's 3 or 5 in your recipe, squish them into here, and then you have your banana bread ready, right? So lots of things to teach people. Again, a whole system just to be used in the freezer, right? And thank you, Tupperware, that they do this for us because we get to go into people's homes, build that relationship, date those parties, and have people join our teams all because of these beautiful products. So I am done. Thank you very much.